Now from Canberra. Good morning to you, Treasurer.
Good morning, Ali. Good morning, Karl.
Morning.
So get the chequebook out again, hey? This is going to be expensive.
Well, this is definitely going to be a challenge for our economic recovery, not just in Victoria, but across the nation. Victoria is a quarter of the national economy, and what has been happening with the recent spike in cases has affected consumer confidence more broadly. We were starting to see some really positive signs across the economy prior to this outbreak. We saw manufacturing activity up, we saw consumer and business confidence up, we saw retail sales up, and we saw wages and jobs in ABS payroll data being up. So this has not come at a very opportune time. But what happens in the coming weeks in stemming this tide of new cases will have an impact much broader than just within Victoria.
I think it's really important if we can, because I think knowledge is power, and you certainly have the knowledge over this. When you say that Victoria is worth a quarter of the nation's economy, can you break that down into, say, for example, a dollar value or a dollar figure per week?
Well, what we've said is that the impact of moving back to full lockdown type restrictions could impact about $1 billion a week for the Victorian economy. And that obviously has an impact more broadly. So we're not talking about insignificant numbers here, Karl. Already our JobKeeper and our cash flow boost programs have injected more than $10 billion into the Victorian economy. We have deployed more than 220 ADF personnel to Victoria to assist in the relief and support effort. We've got more than 800 Commonwealth officials helping with the health task, and of course we have funded 28 respiratory clinics that have provided more than 50,000 tests. So they're all the things that we're doing at a Commonwealth level, and Daniel Andrews himself has said whenever he's asked the federal government and Scott Morrison for assistance, the answer has been a yes.
Well, we had Matt Canavan, the Queensland Senator, on the show a little earlier, and he said that you're now going to be looking at making JobKeeper and JobSeeker specific to these lockdown areas. It's something that's being considered at the moment. I mean, how do you even make that work?
Well, we've announced specific measures for some sectors, but the government will announce a new phase of income support on the 23rd of July, when we provide an economic and fiscal update. This is a trying time, not just for Victorians, but for a number of sectors that continue to do it tough. And as you know, we've announced an arts package, a housing construction package, an aviation package, a tourism package, and these economy-wide income support measures. So we'll make sure it's temporary, it's targeted, and it gets to the people who need it most.
That's a really interesting concept, though, and when Matt suggested it this morning, it's the first time I'd heard of it, that you would be maybe JobSeeker and JobKeeper, keeping it in some areas where those really tight restrictions are, for example, in Melbourne right now, whereas in Queensland, as the borders open and some of those sectors open up to more trade and more business, they don't need it as much. Does that get messy, though?
Oh, look, again, there are many things that we have been working through for some weeks now through our Expenditure Review Committee, and all will be revealed on the 23rd. But I do point out that the 6 weeks of lockdown announced by Premier Andrews goes out to the end of August. The legislated period for JobKeeper and JobSeeker is out to the end of September. So we'll have more to say in the coming weeks.
Here's the thing, Treasurer. Your state is bleeding this morning. It's bleeding. It's
really
hurting.
tough.
It's in pain. There are businesses literally who stocked up on things who now can't even open. There are pubs who had people in there, and now they're closed as of tonight. They need some support, probably now rather than a week or 2 or 3.
But we are providing the support now, Karl. This is a very important message, that right now those eligible businesses and their employees are getting a $1,500 flat payment from the Commonwealth every fortnight. The cash flow boost is payments up to $100,000 for small and medium-sized businesses. We've got another $750 cash payment going out later this month, which is going to support millions of pensioners and others on income support. So what the Morrison government has undertaken and delivered is an unprecedented amount of fiscal support. It's been guided by principles, targeted, temporary, scalable, and proportionate to the challenge we face, and will continue to do more. And we are very much working with the Victorian Victorian government to ensure that the support gets to the people who need it most.
I tell you what, you've had an incredibly busy year, and we do know too, you've got a young family, you're based in Melbourne, you're in Canberra. I mean, does this mean you'll spend lockdown separated from your young family?
Well, Ali, it's been tough for my family, but it's not about me. It's been tough for millions of Australian families. And my thoughts today, with those medical professionals on the front line, with some of the people who are in lockdown, and young people who are thinking about, and older people who are thinking about the challenges ahead. I do get worried about the impact it has on people's mental health. That's why we've announced significant mental health support. I think this is very challenging, not only economically, not only from a purely health perspective, but also psychologically. I think this is really challenging for all Australians.
Yeah, for everyone. Treasurer, thanks for joining us this morning.
Thanks, Josh. Really appreciate it.
Good to be with you.
Okay.
Well, let's